What's good? Rikin here with another episode of the Mortal Intern, and today I want to talk about offering value. Offering value is one of those things I've talked about a dozen times, especially when it comes to internship recruiting and being a good intern. So today I want to dive into how you can offer value and how you can kind of get better over time at offering value, because I think it's a really vague thing to say, but it is tremendously important. So when it comes to offering value, the way I look at it, and again, this is really an entrepreneurial way of looking at it, is what am I adding to the business? Not what am I adding per hour, how much am I worth per hour, but what am I actually making the business? So if I'm there for 8 hours and they're paying me $10 an hour, am I offering them $80 of value or not? If I'm there for eight hours and if I'm there for $80 worth of time, is the company making more than $80 for me being there or not? And a lot of times, especially with internships, it's not necessarily worth the math, right? If you're doing an intern who's doing basic Excel work, they're probably not making $80 of value off the work you're doing. So the way you quickly rise up that chain, the way you can quickly get paid more, and the way you can quickly grow into bigger and better internships is by getting really good at offering value. And today I want to talk about just that. So for me, offering value comes from three different places, or at least proving that you can offer value comes from three different places. First and foremost, it's having experience working somewhere else. When you're going into your first internship or your first job, it's really difficult for them to know how much you're worth because they don't know how much experience you have. And that's why experience is valued so much. The reason I encourage all of you guys to get internships early on in your college career or early in your high school career is because you can build up that experience and prove that you know at least something. You know how to work in a corporate environment. You know how to use Excel in a corporate environment. You know how to send emails professionally. Even doing that proves more value than someone who has no experience at all. But I don't want to focus on experience. The second thing is the ability to learn. And I don't want to focus on that one either. But the ability to learn is just your ability to go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to learn beyond what I already know. I'm going to go out there and spend a day or an hour every day learning these things so I can get better at what I'm doing. When you do that, you can offer value because they know they can throw something at you and you're going to go out and figure it out. You're not going to wait for someone to tell you how to do it. And that is tremendously valuable. So that's why I think a lot of companies value a college education because it proves that you know how to learn. Having someone that can learn is just a good skill set because you don't want to be sitting down and teaching someone how to do every little thing. But that's not what I want to focus on today. Today, I want to focus on how you can get better at seeing opportunities and better at offering value. So the way I like to go about this is really going into a business and looking for what can I make better, and then finding a solution to it. The simple exercise I would recommend all of you guys do, especially if you're struggling with seeing ways to offer value, is every day you go into work, spend the first 5 minutes, get a notepad, and write down 5 different opportunities you can see. 5 different things that you can make better in that company. And they can be simple things. Maybe you see that people are having to walk a long distance to get the copier, and maybe moving it closer would make everyone a little bit better. That's a classic example from Office Space. But maybe you see that the marketing isn't that great. Maybe you see that their Instagram is just kind of non-existent, and you think Instagram could be a great marketing tool. Or maybe if you're working in finance, you see that there's a mistake they're making continuously, and you can make that better. Write down as many of these as you can every day. I like to start with 5, and do this every single day for 5 days. In the morning, write down the 5 different opportunities you see. And in the afternoon, take another 5 minutes and write down the 5 solutions you would have to those. Because seeing opportunities itself doesn't mean anything if you can't offer a solution. If you see someone's house burning down, it's one thing to just point and say, hey, your house is burning down, but that doesn't really help them. It's another thing if you say, hey, I see your house is on fire. I've got a hose and a fire extinguisher. Let's kind of put this out. That's what's really valuable. And that's where seeing opportunity becomes valuable. So I would go about and do this every single day for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. And at the end of those 2 weeks, you should have either 25 or 50 different problems that you've seen and 50 different solutions to that. Go through those and pick the 5 most realistic problems, things that you think you can actually solve, and things that you think are valuable to the company. And then when you meet with your manager, sprinkle a few of those in there. So mention, hey, I noticed, why aren't we doing this? Why is that over there? And a lot of times they'll have good reason for why something's the way it is, even if it seems broken. But more often than not, they'll say, that's interesting. Maybe 1 out of those 5 or 10 ideas you bring up, they'll say, that's interesting. I never thought about that. Or that's a good point. Why don't you go ahead and fix that? And that's how you can build yourself a role. That's how you make yourself more valuable to a company. Because you just created a role or a position or a job that wasn't there before. And that's how you become more indispensable over time. And if you do this for a few months, you'll get better at identifying the things that the company cares about. So for me, I'm looking at plugging the holes, and that is really the way I go about it. And after a month, maybe after 3 months, you get to the point where you're really good at doing this. For me, it takes about 140 hours before I feel comfortable going to someone and saying, hey, why is that like that? Because I think we can make it better. For a while, your questions are going to be stupid, but over time, those questions are going to be insightful and thoughtful, and that's what you get to be able to do. I really think this exercise is going to help you see opportunity better and offer more value, and it really does change the way you're seen. Instead of being just another employee, you're going in there with an entrepreneurial mindset, and you're going in there with the ability to solve problems. So there you have it. There's a little primer on how to get better at seeing opportunities and offering value. If you guys enjoyed that video, please go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. As always, I hope you guys learned something. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.